Hello everybody and welcome to the training module. So today I'm going to be walking you through how to import media, crop, and render in DaVinci Resolve 17. This course is geared towards educators who want to start using digital media and kind of like virtual lessons into your classroom, or simply if you want to start making a YouTube channel where you can start posting videos for your students to go back and listen, or just reach a wider audience with your instruction, then this is the place to start right here. Everything I'm going to be teaching is going to be the fundamental building blocks to start this path and maybe a new hobby for you. We're going to start by learning how to import media, so let's get right into it. So on the left I have DaVinci Resolve 17, and on the right I have the raw video. Just like I had mentioned on the website, you should have DaVinci Resolve 17 installed and ready to go, as well as have the raw video downloaded on your computer. I also have some slides right here that you can follow. This is going to be kind of a visualizer type of PowerPoint where you can follow along through here as well, and I'll be referencing the slides if you want to have those open as well, but it's not required. Okay, so once you have DaVinci Resolve 17 open, you're going to have this screen right here on the left. You're going to want to go ahead and create a new project and title it Lesson 1. Awesome, so now we're going to open to this screen. First of all, you're going to want to make sure that you're in the edit page down here at the bottom. So click edit, and it's going to open up this page. It looks very similar, but this is going to be where you're able to mess with your media and get everything where you want it and crop out the parts that you don't want. Make sure that you have the media pool open. So you might have a page that looks like this when you open this tab. If it looks like this, then go ahead and right here click on media pool, and that'll open up your media pool, and it'll say no clips in media pool. So that's when you're going to open up your folder where your raw video is, and there's two ways to import media. You can either click and drag. For some reason on DaVinci, if you try to drag the video across the timeline, this is the timeline by the way, if you try to drag it across the timeline, it might freeze on you, so make sure that your tab where your folders are is right into the media pool, kind of like this. So then you can click and drag into your media pool, and it'll ask you if you want to change the frame rate. Go ahead and click change, and it'll automatically adjust to the frame rate that you recorded in. And there you go. You'll have your media in your media pool, or your video, whatever you recorded. Another way to import media in your pool is by right-clicking on the media pool. Right-click, and then you're going to go import media. Then you can go ahead and find where your video is, which mine is going to be right here. Click on it and open, and that'll also put this in the media pool. And that is how you import media into DaVinci Resolve 17. Now let's get into cropping. Okay, so cropping is going to be where we take out all the parts that we don't want. Whether you messed up, or you took a breath where you didn't want to, or there was an awkward silence, this is where you're going to go ahead and take it out. The key point for this, in my opinion, is that we are able to keep our lectures short and to the point and energetic. The thing with digital media is we can edit out parts that we don't want, thus creating a more seamless lecture or presentation. This allows for students to be able to only get the key points and not hear about our stories about when we did this crazy thing back then that kind of sort of relates to the subject. We can look back on this and reflect ourselves while we're editing the video and tell ourselves what's important and what's not, and we can edit out what's not and kind of just create, like I said, that seamless flow for your presentation. So first of all, you're going to want to get your media onto the timeline. This is your timeline right here where all the lines are. You can zoom in and zoom out with these buttons right here. This is zooming out, this is zooming in. So I'll go ahead and show you how to get your media onto the timeline. All you have to do is click and drag. So click the video you want and drag it onto your timeline right here. You can make these tracks bigger or smaller by just grabbing them and pulling them. The blue track is going to be your video, and the green track is going to be your audio. After you've reached this point, you can go ahead and close your media pool. All you do is just click on the media pool and it'll unhighlight itself, and then you have all this space to work on your video. You can also change how big you want this to be up here by just clicking and dragging. Alright, so on the raw video file that I have for y'all, I made sure to go ahead and include this that says crop this out. This is going to be where your breaths are, or where I'm changing the camera angle. So you don't need this in a lecture. This just wastes time and it could distract your students. So we're going to crop this out and make this presentation as seamless as possible. So how we do this is we're going to go ahead and watch the video, and we're going to insert little slits in the video in the parts that we don't need. The main tools you're going to use are going to be this that looks like the cursor, which this allows you to kind of move around and check out different parts of the video to where you want to start or stop the video. And you're also going to use this razor blade tool right here. This razor blade tool is going to allow you to create slits in the video, which can later allow you to delete those parts which are selected. So let's go ahead and watch the video and cut out the parts that say crop this out.
Hello students and welcome. Today in our virtual class.
So right there you saw that the beginning, I don't need me to be turning on the camera to be in the video lecture. So let's go ahead and crop that out. So with the cursor tool, we'll go ahead and look for that. Like I said, you can zoom in, zoom out right here. There we go. So we kind of just feel for it. This is where you're going to feel and make sure that you feel natural and it isn't too choppy. So now that we found where we want to cut into, we're going to go ahead and get a razor blade tool, move it over the red line, and click. That creates a slit in our video, as you can see right here. All you have to do to delete the part before is just highlight it and backspace. Now you have this part in the front that doesn't have anything. It's just going to be black, and you don't want that either because, again, you're just wasting time on the lecture. So you're going to click it and it'll highlight. You can click either the blue or the green track, the audio or video, and hit backspace, and that'll back that up to the very start of the video. So this is how the video is going to start now.
Hello students and welcome. Today in our virtual class we're going to be going over the basics of how to tie a shoe. I'm going to take you step by step and we'll get this job done and we'll figure out how to do this together. So I'll bring the camera in so you can get a better angle.
So right here you see me adjusting the camera angle. Again, this is something that you're not going to need in your lecture if you're going to move the camera angle, if you're doing like a chemistry lesson or anything else that you're changing up the camera angle. You can either turn off the video and adjust it, then start recording again, or if you want to keep a full video, just crop it out. So we're going to find right here where you can also see the audio. If you look at the audio, you can see where you stop talking. So you can go ahead and crop that out. So I'm going to, again, select the razor blade tool, click on the red line, and look at where I start talking again, which seems to be right here. This is where the video continues. This is where the chunk of my information continues. So right after I see that, I'm going to go ahead, select the razor blade tool again, click it, and right away, click the cursor. There are shortcuts to this. If you want to go ahead and look up the shortcuts, like control or whatever, you can go ahead and look those up. However, I like using these just to be sure that everything I'm clicking is right. So again, we're going to go ahead and get rid of this where I'm adjusting all the camera angle. You don't need this in your lecture, so all you have to do is highlight, backspace, click on the empty space or the gap, backspace, and now we have this transition, and we'll go ahead and check it out and make sure that it is seamless and we're not leaving out any information or there's no awkward silences or anything that we need to crop out further.
So you can get a better angle. So here we have our untied shoe. Step 1.
Awesome. So that transition made sense. It felt natural, and we're going to go ahead and continue with cropping this video. You can also go ahead and pause here if you want to go ahead and take some time for yourself. So I'll go ahead and let you do that and crop out what you need if you want to go ahead and get stuff to your liking, I'll give you a second. If you want to undo, or if you crop something that you don't like, or you crop too much into your presentation, you can always put Control Z, and that'll take you back one step. That's like an undo. So Control Z will undo. Also, you can grab the clip right here. You see how my cursor changes to this little arrow. This can also drag out your clip in or out, get more of a finer way to get your video. If there's a certain spot, a millisecond that you need, this can help you with that. Okay, so now that you are back and you have this first crop in, we'll go ahead and continue watching the video and see if there's any awkward silences that we need to crop out.
Step 1, we're going to go ahead and grab the laces and crisscross them and pinch. Step 2, we're going to grab the lace on the right and feed it underneath the loop we created right here. Then pull. Step 3.
Okay, so as you saw there, there's a little bit of awkward silence. It wasn't too bad, but we can go ahead and crop that out just to make this seamless transition in between your clips or your steps. So we'll find that crop out section. We'll get a little bit before. Grab your razor blade tool, click on the red line. We'll drag this, see how long that takes for me to start talking again. Grab your razor blade tool, click, cursor tool, highlight the part you don't want, backspace, click on the gap, backspace. So there we go. You have let's check the transition.
Step 3, we're going to go ahead and grab the laces again, and with the right hand we're going to make a loop and pinch. Step 4, we're going to go ahead and grab the lace on the left, bring it around town, and then feed it through the loop under the other loop, right here, right there. Step 5, pull. And there you have your tied shoe.
Okay, so here we are at the next transition area. So I just did this tied shoe as just a simple lesson. This can be your chemistry lesson or your math lesson, your reading lesson, your lecture, anything. This is just in place for us to learn how to do simple basic cropping. So we'll go ahead and crop out this space right here.
Tied shoe.
Okay, so you're gonna go ahead and grab your razor blade tool, click the red line, and see where I start talking again. This is gonna be adjusting. This is me adjusting the camera again. So as you see right here, I'm just getting the camera, making sure the angle is good. This isn't something that your students are gonna need to see, like I said. So we'll go ahead and crop all this out. I noticed the camera was too low, so I adjusted it. And here we go. So now we're gonna grab our razor blade tool, click on the red line, get our cursor tool, highlight the part you don't want, backspace, click on the gap, backspace, and let's check the transition.
And there you have your tied shoe. Thank you for joining class. Today we learned how to tie our shoe, and I hope you can join us again tomorrow for how to put on a belt. So yes, thanks for watching. Have a good day, and remember to do your homework.
Okay, so there we go. Now we have this last part where I turn off the camera that, again, our students don't need to see this. We can either back it up to where you want it, like I said, and crop out that. Or we can do what we're used to, which is getting that razor blade tool, clicking on the red, highlighting the section we don't need, and backspace. Since this is at the end, we don't need to click on any gaps or anything. That's it. So now we have our full lecture with everything cropped out that we don't need, our spaces, our adjusting camera angles, everything should be able to flow smoothly. So we'll go ahead and watch it.
Hello students and welcome.
We'll go ahead
Today
and
in our virtual class,
instead of watching the whole thing, I'll go ahead and look over the transitions.
so I'll bring the camera in so you can get a better angle. So here we have our untied shoe. Step 1.
That was a good transition.
We're going to go ahead and grab.
Click here.
Step 3.
That was a good
We're going to
transition.
go ahead and grab the laces again, and with the right hand we're going to make your tied shoe. Thank you for joining class. Today we learned how to tie our shoe, and I hope you can join us again tomorrow for how to put on a belt. So yes, thanks for watching, have a good day, and remember to do your homework.
And there you go, that's the end of the video. If you want to get fancy, if you see these little lines up here, you can bring them in, and this will kind of add fades to your video or audio depending on which track you check, so it'll just fade to black.
Thanks for watching, have a good day, and remember to do your homework.
There you go, so that's a little trick that you can do to kind of just make things a little bit nicer if you'd like. So that completes the cropping portion of the module. Next we'll move on to rendering. Okay, so now we're moving on to the rendering section of the module. For this, you're going to want to head over to the Deliver tab at the bottom. We were using the Edit tab to do all of this stuff to edit out what we didn't want in this clip. So now we're going to click on Deliver. This is where you'll render your media. And it'll bring up this page right here. So as you can see here, there are a lot of areas to where you can upload your video or your presentation. You have like custom, YouTube, Vimeo, Twitter, and different things here. Premiere if you're going to send it to anybody, but we can focus on YouTube. I like just focusing on YouTube. It's kind of the baseline video sharing platform, so I'll go ahead and click YouTube. File name, like I said, it was lesson 1, and then you can check the location to where you want to save it. I'll save it here, my DaVinci Resolve. Everything right here should kind of fill itself out. The only thing I'll let you in on is making sure that your audio code C is AAC. Sometimes if it's linear PCM, it won't upload your audio, and after you render your video and you wait that whole time for your lecture to finish rendering, you're going to open your video, check it, and there's no audio. So make sure that it's AAC, and we can move on. It says upload directly to YouTube. When you first make your DaVinci Resolve account, it'll allow you to input your YouTube channel to upload directly to YouTube. You don't have to do that. I recommend just don't do it, so we can make sure that everything's right afterwards. Just like I said, if the audio doesn't come out in the render or whatever, we can go ahead and go back without having it upload directly to YouTube. So next we're going to click Add to Render Queue. As you see, it went up here to the right hand side in your render queue, and lastly, all you're going to click is Render All and give it some time. Right here, this is exporting your video with all the edits you made into the folder of your choosing. And this shouldn't take too long unless you have a bigger project with text or effects or more crops. Okay, so the video just finished rendering. We're going to go ahead and check on the video in our folders. It is right. Let's see, it was lesson 1. These are all my projects. So here's lesson 1.
Hello students and welcome.
So the audio
Today,
rendered
in our virtual
out.
class, we're going to be going over the
And
job
we
done,
should
and
be
we'll
able
figure
to
out how do
see
this
our
together.
transition
so I'll bring the camera
seamlessly.
in so you can get a better angle.
There
So
you
here
go.
we have our untied shoe.
Awesome. So our video is ready to upload to YouTube or anywhere that you want to put it. So we'll go ahead and review. Here is the summary that I made. So importing media, you just go to the Edit tab, and this is where we're going to do all of our cropping. You're going to open the media pool, and you can either drag and drop the media into the media pool or right click and import media into the media pool. Next is going to be the cropping, which this is going to take time. It's going to be the longest part of any part of your edits. It's just going to be cropping, making sure that everything is good, reflecting on your presentation and your performance, and taking out what you don't want to make sure that there's a seamless transition for everything. And remember, you're going to use the razor blade tool to add slits into your media, and then you're going to highlight it, backspace, click on the gap, backspace with the other tool, the cursor tool. Then for rendering, you're going to go to the Deliver tab. Then you're going to select the platform that you want. Usually I just go YouTube all the time, like I had mentioned. Make sure that AAC is, I need to change that. Make sure that AAC is selected for your audio card or audio code. Then you click Add to Render Queue, then Render All. And then that will allow you to export your media. So yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you learned something, and this is kind of, like I said, the foundation to getting more into video editing and allowing you to start doing virtual lectures and start making sure that your presentations are more seamless and enjoyable for your students, more short to the point, and just more impactful overall. So again, thanks for joining. I hope you learned something. Have a great day and keep learning.